I'm here this afternoon with Wolfgang, who is the head of operations and engineering at Swisscom, and he's been kind enough to say that he'll give us some time to answer some questions. We're here at the UBBF forum, and the topic of conversation is really about NetCity. And I wonder, Wolfgang, if you could tell us what NetCity is.
NetCity, in the end, it's something between bringing new innovations into place, and not only to talk about, but really hardcore new innovations in the network area into place. And we have started between Swisscom and Huawei this year, and major initiatives where we both bring in our best engineers together with the best engineers from R&D from Huawei together, really for implementing something new that the customer consumer can profit from.
Now, how did the collaboration between Swisscom and Huawei come about?
Very agile, I would call it, something like that. So we try really to keep that whole idea very in a flowing mood, and not to make a very clear specification in the very beginning of what you want to achieve, because in the end we're learning from each other, from the telco operator, from the telco supplier, how really the future should look like. And I think this is really the value behind that, and to bring in really the best engineers and not the managers together of defining the future.
And what are some of the key challenges that NetCity was put together to meet?
I think the key challenges is exactly what we're facing in the telco industry within the next years. This is reducing the OPEX cost and the CAPEX cost, trying to automate everything, but what does it mean? Bringing in artificial intelligence into the future. I think exactly this next generation of how it will look like in a network, this is what we're all facing, and where we want to profit from each other in bringing the people together.
And so as NetCity is really about bringing this ultra-fast, ultra-reliable internet into homes, and artificial intelligence is part of it, and artificial intelligence is helping us do something called predictive maintenance. And can you tell us what that is and how that works?
Yeah, predictive maintenance. So you try as a supplier or as a provider to anticipate before the customer experience an outage or some performance problems, and try to anticipate it before it happens. And you can imagine this is quite a tricky thing to identify that, especially in something like a network, because the network itself, it's very complex. A lot of equipment around there, a lot of fiber, a lot of services running on top of that. And this is really, I think, really the ultimate thing you can try to solve that.
And from your implementation of artificial intelligence as part of the NetCity, do you have any sort of case studies where you can point to the successes?
Yes, of course, because of this agile development we want to have. We have some good use cases that we show right now here in this booth as well. And considering one example, we have one use case where we try to identify in the optics layer that we have a service degradation. You can identify that by the wavelengths and by a combination of different parameters, that most likely this customer or these consumers will have a problem right now in their video streaming. And we identified it before the customer really gets the impact. And I think this is the value for the customer, because we will offer for him better service.
So artificial intelligence is about automation in the telecom industry, and what you're really saying is that before the consumer even picks up the phone to say, I have a problem, the problem is fixed, before they really even notice a problem. Mm-hmm. Is that really? Exactly,
this is a lot of learning about what are really the patterns that you need to identify before it gets automated. What are really the development of the certain flows and the aggregations, the components before they have a certain behavior, or even about the behavior of the customer itself, because each customer behaves differently. Each customer has a completely different consumption.
So it sounds like Swisscom and Huawei are setting a new standard in the telecom industry.
Definitely. A new standard based on always on, for example. And always on, you expect as well on each single customer to have the service really always on.
So I guess part of really what NetCity is doing is creating added reliability, added assurance for the consumer, and added efficiencies for the business in terms of savings.
Yes, of course, for the business itself, we profit from that as well, not only consumer, because with the automation, higher degree of automation, of course, we can save costs. We can build kind of this designed quality into the whole systems that without that we have to chase after incidents or events. This gives us cost savings as well, definitely.
One of the phrases that I've heard in talking about NetCity is cloud optics. What does that really mean?
Cloud optics is one of exactly these use cases there. You can imagine something like that. Today, still a lot of manual interventions need to be done in the field. Even with the optics. Just imagine this doesn't need to be done. This can be done remotely. But for this, the architectures have to be changed, software have to be changed, and hardware have to be changed. And right now, exactly, this is one of these use cases that we jointly develop of getting this really done. This is kind of this optical as a service.
With Swisscom and Huawei working together, what are some of the additional innovations you might see on the horizon? Are there any that you can think of that you might be able to share with us?
I think the sky is the limit, something like that. And I wouldn't say right now that a concrete example, because everything is contributing to this zero-touch operations, to this analytics new world, and something like that. And because especially of this agile approach, we want to make a step-by-step move. I think it all will contribute to the next generation, but I wouldn't be able right now to tell you, okay, this is the nirvana where the whole industry will look like in the future.
I think it's pretty darn exciting as it is. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.